Hello and welcome everyone. Good afternoon to everyone in the UK and Europe, and good evening to those joining us from Dubai and Middle East. I'm Joanna Mochadlo, co-founder of Dream Homes Investment, and I'll be moderating today's session, Ready Build versus Off-Plan, Buying and Financing Dubai Properties. Whether you're considering your first Dubai investment or diversifying your existing portfolio, today we're going to discuss one of the most important decisions you will face, choosing between ready-built or off-plan property. And we have a panel of experts with us today who will share practical insights on the financing, legal, and strategic considerations that will help you shape your decision. Just a little disclaimer here before we move on. This webinar is not a sales presentation. It's an educational session designed to help you make an informed decision when considering investing in real estate in Dubai. Today's agenda, we're going to be discussing the key differences between ready-built and off-plan properties, and when each approach makes the most sense for your specific investment goals. The UAE mortgage regulations, including loan-to-value ratios that differ significantly between property types, and what you need to secure pre-approval as an international buyer. The legal purchase process from reservation through to ownership. And finally, we'll have a Q&A session where our panel will be available to answer your questions. And you can start typing your questions now. You can do that throughout the session. And at the end, we'll try to answer all of your questions. So we have 4 experts here today, each bringing distinct expertise. I'm Joanna Mochadlo. As mentioned, I'm a co-founder of Dream Homes Investment, a global real estate consultancy based in Dubai. I'm a lawyer practicing in the UK, but I'm also qualified as a US attorney at law. I'm a partner at Ballantines LLP, a London-based law firm that helps businesses of all sizes, as well as investors, prosper, grow, and expand. And I am also a real estate investor. I invested in property in Dubai. So I understand the decisions and the process from both the investors and a legal point of view. With me today, we have Ravinder Singh Johal, my co-founder at Dream Homes Investment and also a partner at Ballantines LLP. Ravi brings over 20 years of commercial and property law experience, and he also is a real estate investor himself with experience in Dubai property market. Hi, Ravi, and welcome.
Hi, Joanna. Thank you very much for that introduction. Good afternoon, good evening, all.
Thank you. We've got Majid Quran, who is our UAE mortgage expert. He has successfully guided hundreds of local and international buyers through different mortgage applications that many traditional brokers find too complex to handle. Hi, Majid, and thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Joanna, for the introduction, and welcome all.
Thank you. And we've got Keshav Kumar. Keshav is a senior real estate consultant. He is our Dubai market expert with deep knowledge of both the primary off-plan market as well as the secondary ready-built market. Welcome, Keshav.
Thank you very much, Joanna. And hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar.
Thank you. As you see, today's panel combines legal and finance expertise as well as market intelligence. So everything you need under one roof when making your investment decision. Before we jump into our discussion about ready-built and off-plan, I'd like to invite Ravi to give us a little bit of an introduction to Dream Homes Investment.
Sure. Thank you very much, Joanna. So we are a global real estate consultancy that's based in Dubai, created by myself and Joanna. We work with developers offering investors access to a diverse range of some of the most luxurious and top spec properties across the world, including the UAE, Cyprus, Bali, and Thailand, to name but a few. We deliver a unique one-stop solution for all types of investors and buyers, offering legal, tax, visa and citizenship, company structuring, as well as relocation advice. As Joanna mentioned, we are both real estate investors ourselves who have purchased properties in Dubai and have witnessed firsthand the challenges faced by investors in knowing which investment is the more suitable. And this is pretty much how Dream Homes Investment was born. We discovered a gap in the market where we saw investors being bombarded by quite pushy agents with endless choices of real estate projects abroad, with no real explanation of the purchase process, the risks, legal oversight, or due diligence on the developers, the local areas, and the projects themselves. We decided to create a solution to that. With our background, we conduct our own legal due diligence on every developer and every project. We work on, as well as having a global panel of professional experts that offer additional support on tax implications, company setup, citizenship and visa inquiries, and relocation, all of which is crucial in making a decision to invest in real estate abroad.
That's great. Thank you, Ravi. Before we dive into the ready build versus off plan, let's just quickly establish why Dubai remains compelling for international investors, because that's very important at the moment. So I'm going to again pass on to Ravi to explain.
Thank you, Joanna. So Dubai offers zero income tax on rental income and capital gain appreciation, which is very dissimilar to the UK, where you could lose potentially 40% or more taxation. Dubai offers world-class lifestyle with year-round sunshine and luxury amenities. It offers high safety standards, as Dubai is one of the safest cities in the world. And Dubai's strategic location itself means that it is a global gateway for connecting East and West. And with a real estate investment of 750,000 dirham or more, you are eligible for a 2-year investor visa. With an investment of 2 million dirham or more, you are eligible for the UAE Golden Visa, which is a 10-year renewable residency. You get full free ownership rights and security as a foreign national. And the market has demonstrated strong return on investment potential, with rental yields of 6 to 9% on average annually and consistent capital appreciation. But success in Dubai requires understanding the nuances between ready-built and off-plan investments. The financing regulations from the central bank are complex and differ substantially between the two. Without proper legal guidance, investors regularly make costly mistakes that can easily be avoided. And this is precisely why a lawyer-led expertise is required. We're here to guide you through these complexities.
That's really helpful and makes a lot of sense. There's so many benefits of investing in Dubai at the moment. Let's have a look at options for investment, strategic impact on your investment decisions. And Ravi, do you want to guide us through this slide?
Yeah, sure. So your choice between ready-built and off-plan has 3 strategic impacts that will determine your investment success. First of all, cash flow potential. With ready-built, you can start earning rental income in just 8 weeks with positive monthly cash flow immediately. However, you need the initial down payment and mortgage arrangements, or if you have sufficient capital, you can purchase the property straight away. With off-plan, you have no income for 1 to 3 years typically until completion. You need substantial capital reserves to absorb mortgage payments without offsetting rental income, but you have time to make regular installments, depending according to your selected payment plan. Number 2, financing options. Ready-built properties can access up to 80% loan-to-value for first homes. Off-plan properties are capped at maximum 50% loan-to-value for all buyers under central bank regulations. And you can obtain it for the last part of your payment plan once the property has been completed. We will discuss this in more detail shortly. And 3, timeline to ownership. Ready-built delivers complete ownership in usually 6 to 8 weeks. You can have tenants in place and rent flowing almost immediately, whereas off-plan requires 1 to 3 years of waiting time for construction to finish. To summarize, your investment objectives should determine your strategy, not market hype or what the broker is trying to sell you. Always choose based on your investment goals and set your budget.
That's great. Thanks, Ravi. And we are now moving on to strategy framework. Well, in a nutshell, the framework is goal-driven, not property-driven. If you need income, choose Ready Build for immediate rental returns and positive cash flow. If you're targeting capital growth, go for off-plan investment. If you want a balanced approach, diversify with both Ready Build for income and off-plan. This is actually what many experienced investors do. And if you need an investor or golden visa, as Ravi briefly mentioned, both options work. Just ensure that your property value exceeds either 750,000 or 2 million UAE, respectively, with confirmed equity. So now let's dive into our main topic, which is Ready Build versus off-plan. And I'm going to pass over to Keshav to first explore the differences of the two.
Thank you very much, Joanna. And hi, everyone, once again. So the distinction, in my opinion, is straightforward, but the implications are profound. Ready-built properties are completed properties. You can physically view them, conduct professional inspections, and most importantly, you can start generating rental income immediately. You receive the full title deed at purchase, and you can achieve ownership in just 6 to 8 weeks from the initial offer. Off-plan properties, on the other hand, are currently under construction. So these are under construction properties. You're buying based on architectural plans and marketing renders. You pay in stages, typically 40 to 60% during the construction period, with the balance at handover. Handover is usually scheduled 1 to 3 years from purchase. In some cases, it could go to 4 years as well. And initially, you receive an Uqud certificate, which is your interim registration certificate. And later on, once the property is constructed, then you get your title deed, which comes at completion. And the key distinction between the two, in my opinion, is Ready Build delivers immediate ownership and rental income from week 8. And off-plan offers potential capital appreciation, but requires patience. And you have to wait for about 1 to 3 years before earning any rental income, or if you want to sell it off for capital appreciation, you can do that.
Thanks, Keshav. And let's move on to the purchase process.
Okay, this is for off-plan. So off-plan follows a fundamentally different timeline, 12 to 36 months to completion. So in month 1, reservations and SPA, you reserve your unit with the developer, pay a 5 to 10% booking deposit, and sign the sale and purchase agreement. You then pay an additional 10 to 20% within 30 days. The Uqud certificate is registered at the Dubai Land Department, and you pay the 4% DLD fee at this stage. Month 2 to 24, construction phase, you make staged payments tied to specific construction milestones. Foundations complete, structural completion, MEP installation, finishing. You should monitor construction progress through periodic site visits. It's critical to maintain payment schedule compliance, or you risk penalties. Month 25 to 28, pre-handover, the developer announces the handover date. You arrange your mortgage for the final 30 to 40% financing balance. If you're using a bank, you prepare for the snagging inspection. And month 30th, handover, you pay the final balance. You conduct a thorough snagging inspection, documenting every defect, and there will be defects even with tier 1 developers. The Uqud certificate is converted to the full title deed. You collect keys and take possession. And post handover, the process mirrors Ready Build. Diva activation, Ijari registration, furnishing, tenant placement. And critical protection is verify the developer maintains a DLD monitored escrow account. your stage payments must be deposited into the protected account by law. If the developer goes bankrupt, your funds are protected. This is non-negotiable in my opinion, and never proceed without escrow confirmation.
That's great. That's very important. And it is offering a lot of security for investors. What about the ready build?
Yeah. So ready built week 1 to 2, you select property. So you go for property viewing and physical inspection. Price negotiation follows with the seller, and you verify clear title and ownership status. Thereafter, week 2, you sign memorandum of understanding. You also pay 10% deposit held by trustee, and seller provides no objection certificate. Thereafter, you move on to week 3, mortgage process. So bank conducts property valuation, final mortgage offer issued and accepted. And thereafter, week 4 to 5, you go for legal review. So lawyers review sales and purchase agreement and comprehensive title checks for liens, any kind of issue, dispute with the property, and they verify service charge clearance. Thereafter, week 5 to 6, you go for DLD transfer. So you attend Dubai Land Department trustee office, pay balance plus 4% DLD fee. Title deed is transferred the same day. And week 6 to 8, post-purchase, you go for DIVA, utilities connection, HRA tenancy registration, property furnishing, and professional tenant search.
That's great. It's a very, very quick process, isn't it? It's just that it's a little bit longer than off-plan, but off-plan is very straightforward as well and just lets you make your payments step by step as you go along. You don't have to, there are a bit less financial sort of restraints on that. So it's all depending on your financial situation. Okay, let's move on to the next slide.
Can I just add that certainly the process in buying in Dubai, whether it's off plan or already built, is a lot simpler process than the conveyancing process in the UK, with a lot less steps involved as well.
Of course, and it's more straightforward. It's less documents that you need to provide, and it's very secure as well in terms of off plan. But yeah, no, that's a good comment. Thanks, Ravi.
Next, I'm going to cover common investor mistakes. So off plan is always cheaper, which is not always the case. So investors see a lower entry price and assume they are getting a bargain. But if the market appreciates 15% annually, which Dubai has been doing, and that initial price advantage disappears by handover, and when you factor in financing costs on the higher deposit required, the total cost can actually exceed comparable ready-built alternatives. Now, mistake number 2 is I'll get the same mortgage on both. This is categorically false. The central bank caps off plan at 50% loan to value maximum for everyone, expats, residents, UAE nationals, and everyone. So that means you need to double the deposit compared to a ready-built first home, where you can access 80% loan to value. Then mistake number 3 is ready-built means old property. Many ready-built units are brand new. Developer inventory that has not been occupied, or recently completed units in pristine condition. So you get the benefit of physical inspection without sacrificing newness. And mistake number 4 is all off plan is risky. So risk varies dramatically. Tier 1 developers like Shobha Realty and beyond have exemplary track records, on-time delivery, quality construction. Other developers have concerning delay histories, so you cannot treat all off-plan equally. The solution is simple but rarely followed. Define your investment goal first, then income now, capital growth later, golden visa qualification, then select the property type that serves that objective. Don't do it backwards.
That's very important. And just to add to that, the last point you mentioned, Keshav, yes, investors, developers are not equal, and risks can vary. And there are many small investors who can be very trustworthy. And even though they may not have the largest history of developments, at Dream Homes Investment, we provide our own due diligence from a legal perspective as well as market and otherwise. And we always work with developers who we trust. And that includes some of the smaller developers, which often offer a lot of value for money. They can deliver projects quite fast, and they also tend to offer competitive prices. So there's lots of information and details that you will need to consider before making your decision. But
And
thank
to
you.
add something on that, also there is escrow account, which they are doing nowadays, which assure the clients that for sure they're getting their property and their money, it's not going in vain. So this is a good thing as well to put into consideration.
Yes, exactly. So once you
Absolutely.
invest, you put your money into an escrow account, and that money cannot be touched by the developer until the property is actually completed and checked. So your money is safe.
Can I just add on that point? Because I was one of those investors back in the early 2000s that did invest with a developer in the UAE who ended up not having title to the land that they promised that they were going to build. And my money wasn't there wasn't all the safety and security regimes that you have now. So whatever money that I put forward was lost with the developer. I could not get any of that back. Now, fast forward 20 years later on, as a professional, as a lawyer, I'm a lot more reassured with the investment that I've got now. That my money is absolutely safe and secure. If there are any problems with the developers in terms of getting the construction completed. But what I tend to find is that the impetus with the developers is to move on construction quite quickly, and they don't necessarily delay on construction as much as you would see here in the UK. Just to add that point. Sorry to interrupt.
No, thanks, Ravi. And this is very important because when you invested for the first time over 20 years ago, there were not that many protections in place comparing to what we have in place today. So it's it's a completely different market, it's a completely different environment for investing. But
Yeah.
both
And this is why we feel quite strongly about investing in Dubai. This is why we endorse investing in there, not just because Joanna and myself as lawyers have gone through the process ourselves. We've just seen where the opportunities are, and the opportunities certainly outweigh the risks that have been mitigated. There are, as everybody has mentioned, a lot more stricter regimes now in terms of protecting foreign investment.
Exactly. And yes, both Ravi and I went through that process, and we know it inside out, and we know how secure it is. But right, just a little reminder for everyone who's here with us. Make sure if you have any questions, keep typing them in the chat box, and we'll be answering them during our Q&A session. The part on the real ready build versus offline was very, very helpful. So thank you so much, Keshav, for presenting this.
My pleasure, Joanna.
And I'm sure everyone is very interested now about the next part, which is mortgages and strategy to invest, and in particular, mortgages for your ready built property. So I'm going to let Majid present this for you.
Thank you so much, Joanne. Hi, everyone, again. So first, to put clarity on the mortgages, many people, they already know about the residents that can get a mortgage, but they're not fully aware that non-residents as well, they can get a mortgage. And I'm saying by non-residents is not just people living abroad. There are many cases where people are living here in Dubai, they already have visa, but their income is from abroad, like they have an international company and their income is coming from an outside company, they are considered with the banks that they are non-residents. So let's begin with the first home buyer. Let's say under the 5 million people residents, they can get up to 80% as an LTV loan value. And if they're buying a property more than 5 million, it's going to be the 70%. And for the second home, they mean not just like you finished your first mortgage and then you're getting your second mortgage, it's going to be a 60%. No. But if your first mortgage is already active and you took already the 80%, the second one will be 60%. Of course, there are ways we can work around that, which is including equity and how much you already own of the property. But this would be more in detailed, like depending on the cases, profile by profile for the clients. For the non-residents, it's 50 to 65%, also depending on the client profile. So in most cases with most of the UAE banks, it's 50%. But in some cases, when the client profile is very clear and there is no, like, because they're going to check the credit score, even if he's from another country, they're going to check the credit score and see about the payments. So the maximum they can get is 65%. Now for the off-plan properties, so here where it gets a little intense. So for the residents, they can get 50% LTV. So which means they need to pay 50% upfront. But if you think about it, if you just go and buy an off-plan, you can just go with the normal payment plan, which is 40-60 or 60-40, whatever, depending on the developer, and you will do the payments. Once the handover is there, the handover is notice is out from the developer, then you can mortgage that handover payment. But I'm against the idea of going with off-plan from the beginning, doing it as a mortgage, because actually it's not beneficial for the client. This is one thing. The second thing is non-residents can't mortgage off-plan. They can only mortgage ready-built properties. So let's go for the key regulations. So maximum loan term is 25 years. Going for the residents and non-residents, must be repaid by the age 65 and 70. So basically 70 for local people, UAE nationals, 65 for expats and for non-resident as well. So monthly payments limited to 50% of income. What does that mean? Let's say your salary is 20,000 dirhams. So when the bank needs to do the DBR calculation, it calculates 50% of your salary. So it's going to be 10,000. And your monthly liability, including the mortgage that you're going to get now on your home, shouldn't exceed 10,000. This includes, like, if you have a personal loan, car loan, they're going to calculate your monthly payments. And let's say you have a 100,000 credit card. They're going to calculate 5% from the 100,000 as a monthly liability, which will be added to the DBR calculation. For the major lenders, of course, all UAE banks, they give mortgages to all cases, but it differentiates depending on the client profile, which is if he's an employee, if they have their own company, or even if they are a non-resident. So specifically in mortgages, it's not all about the interest rate. It's actually about where your case fit which banks the most. Let's go to the slide.
So just to add a little bit here, so 50%, because this is very important. So if you're a non-resident, you can borrow up to 50% of the purchase price. And if you are a resident, then it can be up to 80%. And also, so this is still quite good comparing to the structures available in the UK or in Europe, because the prices in Dubai, the property prices are lower and the requirements are quite straightforward, easy to follow. And just to mention that there are many ways in which you can become a resident in the UAE quite quickly, and then you can take advantage, hopefully, of that better rate and better loan to value that is available.
To add something on that, actually, so in many cases, there are people that relocated in Dubai and they just started working, let's say 1 month, 2 months. Most of the banks, they will tell you we need at least like 6 months salary transfer to your account from your company. But in some cases, we can also get like an experience letter from the previous company, even if it was outside the country. And this would give them a proof that this person was already working, getting an income. They will check the bank statements, but in these cases, it can also work. So they don't have to wait 6 months or 1 year so they can get a mortgage.
So that's amazing.
So for the mortgage process, it's pretty simple. So there is the pre-qualification stage. It's basically where we reach out to the client, whether if it's by call, email, or even WhatsApp. We ask them simple questions. What is their salary? Or if they have a company, what is the company income? What is their monthly liability? And what is the name of the company they are working for? We do the calculation on the DBR and we can see the eligibility of them taking a mortgage and to what maximum. Like, for example, they can take for 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. We give them that. And this pre-qualifications is 100% accurate all the times. The only difference is than the step two, which is the pre-approval, is the pre-approval coming from the bank directly because it goes into the bank system, which sometimes there may be restriction on the nationality, there may be restriction on the company, maybe the client profile, they have a low credit score where they have problems doing the monthly payments. So it shows in their financial history, which the banks sometimes they refuse to give this client a mortgage. Going to step three, which is the property selection and valuation. So after the pre-approval, the validity of it is 60 days. And of course, they can extend it with the bank to another 60 days. So once they choose a property, they will sign an agreement, which if it was with the seller or direct with the developer, and then we'll go to the valuation stage where the bank will assign a company that they work with to go and valuate the property. And then after that, we'll just wait for the valuation report. And then we'll go to the final offer letter. In this stage, actually, it's an agreement between the bank and the client for all rules, regulations, the tenor we agreed on, the interest rate we agreed on, monthly payments, total loan amount. Once it's all signed, it goes to the disbursement stage and transfer, this is the stage where the banks they issue the checks to the seller, to the developer, and then it can happen with the transfer. Each step of those takes 5 to 7 working days, so it can be done by the bank, excluding the pre-qualification because it only takes like 5 to 10 minutes throughout the chat between the client.
That's a very fast process, and comparing that to obtaining a mortgage, for example, in the UK, which Ravi probably can tell you, it takes so much longer.
There are a lot more challenges in the UK, and certainly with people's credit history, which plays a big part as well. Not to mention the amount of information that you have to supply, even at principal stage, before getting on to getting an actual offer. So thank you very much.
Actually, Ravi, you would be jealous. Sometimes here, some cases literally finishes with 20 days, like depending on the client profile. Like if it's that clean and there is no issues regarding it, literally the bank could like finish the whole process, issue the checks and transfer within literally 20 days. And some cases takes to 60 days.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. Thank you.
So going to the mortgage requirements and interest rate. For the documents, for the residents and non-residents, it's quite the same, which is the KYC documents, passport, ID, and we go to the 6 months, like this is the average between all banks, 6 months bank statement, 6 month pay slips, credit report, salary certificate. The only difference between a non-resident and a resident is the proof of address. This is for an employed client. For the self-employed, same documents, but on top of that, they will ask for audited financials for 2 years. And this is the minimum. So for anyone who has a company and they are self-employed and they want to take a mortgage, their company should be established at least 2 years minimum.
Okay.
For the interest rate, so for the non-residents, it's between 4.19 to 4.99% at the moment. But as we all know, So for the central bank, they already reduced the rate by 0.25%. Hopefully, it will be reflected on the market in the first quarter of this year. But until now, these are the rates in the market. And as you can see, on the other hand, for the interest rate for UAE residents, it's between 3.75 to 3.99. So you can see the obvious difference between both of them. And the rates actually doesn't differ between clients and other clients. It's all the same for all people. The only thing would affect it is the central bank rate. That's the only thing that would affect it. And of course, the fixed years. So for example, with the same bank, you can get, let's say, 3.99 fixed for 3 years. If you want to take it, let's say, fixed for 5 years, it's going to be 4.19. Whenever is the years are fixed or more, let's say 3, 5, 10, the interest rate also goes up with it.
No, that's really good, and the interest rates are pretty well. They similar to what we have in the UK, actually quite lower, I would say, on average. And you can get a mortgage buying a cheaper property in Dubai, being in the UK or in the EU, just providing all the documents that Majid just requested. And it's a simple process. You can do that, as Majid said, in probably 20 to maybe a little bit longer than 20 days. But it's very straightforward, and yeah, it just makes so much sense to get a mortgage.
And yeah, like the best thing that the banks always love, they love documents. Whenever there is a document, they will love you more. So for the financing mistakes to avoid, reserving before pre-approval. So actually, it is a risk because, like, when you sign an agreement between a seller or a developer, if you don't actually check the clause, you would lose a lot of money doing signing with them an agreement without putting a clause that protects you. For example, let's say you signed an MOU with a seller, and there is no clause that will say or protect you if the bank chooses not to give you a loan. So the security check that you already put, it's from the seller's right to take it, since you couldn't keep up your word and buy the property. So we always say, like, this is the crucial parts where you really need an advisor who can tell you you can add this clause, this thing, to just protect you from the agreements that you already signed on. And of course, when you have the pre-approval from the bank, it would be more relief. First, that you can sign an agreement while you have a clear mind, and then you would really know how much you are eligible for. For example, you really want a property with 2.5 million, but you thought you only are eligible for 2 million. And then you signed for 2 million, and then you got a pre-approval for 2.5. So now you know you could have gotten more, but you are in a stage where you already signed an agreement that you can't walk out from. Ignoring debt to burden ratio. So most of the people as well think regarding if they have, let's say, 50,000 salary, they will automatically say, I already have like a high salary which I can pay any monthly installment that can come my way. But as we said earlier, that the bank will consider only 50% of it, and they will consider everything you are paying at the moment. So if it was a UAE national, they are gonna include the pension, which is going to be deducted from the salary directly. If they're taking personal loan, car loan, they're gonna include those as well. And some people calculate those and forget that the bank will also consider 5% of the credit card limit, which they didn't think about. So also, before any financial move, you should always go to an advisor which can help you with the DBR calculation if you're not already know about the process, how it goes. So you can be sure that you can take the monthly installment. For expecting 80% LTV universally, as we said, like, first, if it was below 5 million, you can get the 80%. If it's over 5 million, it's gonna be 70%. And as well, if you are a non-resident, you can get up to only 65%. So LTV varies from case to case, from profile to profile. So that's why you should always check before doing also any financial move with the bank.
Thank you so much, Majid. And just to mention that when we talk about those figures of 5 million or 2 million, and it's in AED, and it seems like it's a lot of money, especially for people listening in the UK or in the UK. But let's face it, what's 2 million dirham? It's about £400,000. So it's really the prices are quite good. And thank you so much, Majid. Just to mention that if you want to obtain advice from Majid, if you contact us, we'll be able to put you in touch with him, and he'll be very happy to answer any of your questions that you may have. Thank you for all this information, Majid. It's just a lot to digest, but it's all very crucial information if somebody wants to get a mortgage in the UAE. And this is pretty much most of the topics that we wanted to discuss today. But before we close and before we do our Q&A, most importantly, let's have a little recap about what Dream Homes Investment can offer, and I'm just going to pass on to Ravi to do that.
Thanks, Joanna. Thanks, panel. I mean, obviously, there's been quite a lot of information that's just been shared for the purposes of this webinar, and we're happy to answer any other inquiries. We have given a link to our WhatsApp community channel in the chat. So if anyone wants to join and have got any other queries, please do so. I've noticed that there are a number of inquiries there which we'll answer shortly. I'll just give a summary, as Joanna has mentioned as well, on what Dream Homes Investment does. So we're pretty much lawyer-led. It's the due diligence is of legal standard, which means title verification, sale and purchase agreement review, service charge and developer analysis, and knowledge of the local market, which is obviously quite important. This is all standard and not optional. We also give advice on the properties that you require yourself. So we curate short lists specifically tailored to your requirements, whether that's ready-built or off-plan properties. We will create a list for you, which we recommend are the better investments going forward, tailored to your needs. We have exclusive developer partnerships, giving us access to pre-release inventory, and also we have detailed market analysis, which again helps us in delivering a bespoke service to our clients. Our panel of experts advise on tax and wealth planning, which is key to investing real estate abroad. They advise on UK tax structuring, on non-domicile planning, on obtaining golden visa initiatives, and estate planning considerations, which unfortunately a lot of brokers don't really discuss. They're more concerned about just getting a deal over the line without looking at what your personal circumstances are and giving you that holistic advice. As mentioned earlier, we advise on visa and citizenship support, which includes golden visa applications, residency planning, and citizenship pathways. We've just mentioned about mortgages, so mortgage coordination. We give advice on pre-approval guidance, multi-bank strategy, and document preparation to maximize your borrowing capacity, as Majid has just mentioned earlier. And then we also give advice on relocation support, which is, I think, quite fundamental, especially if you're looking to move to Dubai and settling in and knowing a lot about the local area. We also advise on company setup support. One of the strategies that we endorse is that rather than purchase the properties as an individual, set up a company and purchase it through your company. That gives a lot of tax advantages, especially if you're remaining as a resident in the UK. So we advise on business formation, licensing, and corporate structuring in the UAE free zones. We also provide an active after sales service where our professional team will undertake professional tenant sourcing, advising on property maintenance, rent and resale advice when you're ready to exit from your investment. So this is a non-exhaustive list of some of the services that we provide. Ultimately, Dream Homes Investment, we're here to give that lawyer-led holistic advice going forward. I think I've spoken enough now, Joanna, so I think we'll go on to the questions now.
Thank you so much, Ravi. And yes, let's just move on to some questions that we have. If we could, because I can't see the questions at the moment. If
Would it help if I read out the questions as well? We've got a couple from Vishal Joshi. Thank you very much. I know this is vague, but as a ballpark figure, how much money in total would I need as a potential investor with all costings considered to invest in a property in Dubai, say a one-bedroom property?
I can start, but I think Kashaf can answer. Just from my experience, it can vary, but if you're looking for very sort of entry-level investment, one-bedroom property you can probably find at around 1 million dirham. But Kashaf, I think you're probably better.
Yeah, you're right, Joanna. So if you go for Dubai South, where the largest airport is going to be built, the biggest airport of the world is going to be built, the chances for capital appreciation are pretty high in Dubai South. And over there, prices have not risen as high as they have in the prime locations of Dubai. So over there, you can get one bedroom for about 1.2 million dirham. In terms of pound, I think you can divide it by 5. So roughly about how much? 1.2.
That's about
250 or 300,000 pounds, you can say. And if you talk about properties which are in prime location, for example, if you go for Dubai Islands, which is an upcoming area in Dubai, and it's good for capital appreciation, it's not yet built. So over there, you can get one-bedroom apartment starting from, let's say, 2.7 million dirham, 2.5 million dirham. So that's the price you're looking at. So
yes, and Kashaf, do you want to also mention that this is actually the total price, total purchase price?
Yeah, that's total price. So so absolutely, you start with basically 20% down payment and 4% goes toward DLD fee. So you can say that whatever is the total price, you're paying 24% to begin with, and the remaining payment can be paid in installments if you're going for an off-plan property. And if you're going for a ready property, and if you go for a mortgage, then you have mortgage installments every month to pay.
Can I just add that that is significantly less than the cash reserves that are required for a deposit, even for the most cheapest properties in the UK. I would say roughly £30,000 would be a good figure to look at in terms of getting entry level, but there are some ones that are a little bit cheaper as well. Can I just also move on to the next question?
One second,
again,
just to add that, so as much as you need altogether, let's say 25% of the purchase price within the first couple of months. But with an option to take a mortgage, what you're actually paying for that property is around 50% of the value, because if you take a mortgage, then you're paying off the rest with the mortgage, right? So
that's a good point, because even with regards to my own property purchase, which pretty much leads on to the next question raised by Vishal Joshi, which is Joanna and Ravi, you have recently invested. What are the figures looking like in terms of outgoings and income in a nutshell? Even though mine is not complete yet, I already know that I'm going to be making capital appreciation of around 100K. And this is on a purchase plan where I'm only paying 60% of that prior to completion. And then the remaining 40% is going to be covered by rental income, which is quite advantageous. Joanna, if you want to mention with regards to your experience when you completed on your purchase, I think that would be a good way to answer Vishal's question.
So with my investment, this is, I think, a very good example. So my property I invested in off-plan entry-level property. I wanted to make it a small investment because it was my first time in Dubai. I invested around £100,000 altogether. So again, making payments in installments. And I've paid all of it. The thing is, you don't really feel that much that you're making a substantial payment because you have those installments. So within 2 years' time, I had my property completed. I collected the keys. And imagine 2 years period, when I went to collect my keys, the developer's sales agent asked me if I wanted to sell that property there and then, because the area I went for was a up and coming area. And so the prices were quite low and it was developing. So of course, at the time I bought it, there was not that many things around there, but it's becoming better and better. So they offered me straight away 200,000 dirham as my sale price. So if you think about it, that's
that was what, 40% of what you had paid.
So that's so that's like 40% of what I paid, appreciation within 2 years. And then let's face it, I have no mortgage. I pay no tax. If I want to rent that property, I pay no tax. If I want to sell it, it's completely 100% mine with such a small investment, about £100,000. Even within 2 years, if you wanted to rent a property in the UK, you would not make that kind of capital appreciation. And the most important thing, now I'm going to rent it out. And I'm going to be very, very easily going to be able to get 12 to 13,000 pounds per annum for that, with no costs to me as a landlord, because it's all covered by the tenant, and it's a very easy process. It works a little bit different in the UAE. It's a lot more straightforward and it's very landlord friendly. But I think because I'm going to make a separate video about it, because I think that's a very interesting topic. So I'm going to leave it here. But if you want to know any more, then please let me know separately.
Thanks, Joanna. We've got one more question as well. What about any snag lists and how do they get addressed and within what timeline? I assume that they're referring to snagging and defect issues following construction, and those are addressed and are the responsibility of the developer. The buyers are not responsible for those.
Maybe
within what timeline depends on what those snagging defects are. Yeah, please, Kasha.
Yeah, so basically, I have gone for a snagging survey for the clients I've sold properties to at the time of handover, and I go through all the minute details. So it could be issues could range from plumbing or electricity, anything you can think of. So I make sure that everything is checked. And whatever the defects are in the property, I go ahead and report it to the developer, and the developer makes sure that everything is sorted out before the keys are handed over. So it totally depends on the kind of defect the property has. So maybe 20 days, 30 days, roughly about that.
Okay. Do you have any more questions, or that's it?
I think that's it, but just noting the time as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So we are pretty much running out of time soon. So just to wrap up, thank you very much to our panelists, Keshav Kumar, Ravinder Johal, and Maj Koran, and thank you very much for everyone who attended. We hope you enjoyed our session and found the information helpful. Just to let you know, we organize these webinars on a regular basis, so stay tuned for more details about our next session next month. And if you want to find out more about just in general real estate investment options that you have, get professional advice and practical guidance from us or our experts, please just drop us an email. You can see the details on the screen now, or you can contact us via WhatsApp or phone number. And please also, Ravi just shared a link in comments to our WhatsApp community group. Join our.
It's shared, and we'll share it again with everybody
we'll
that's ready.
So this is where we share updates and all of the new projects around the world on a regular basis. And in terms of these slides, we'll also be sharing a copy of these slides with everyone after the session, together with the relevant details and how to contact us. So thank you very much again for joining, and we hope you have the rest of the day or evening, depending on where you are, and take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.